AutoCAD allows you to use both absolute and relative coordinate systems. By default, the program is set to be in relative coordinate system. To disable it, you can click here, Customization, and then click on Dynamic Input. This icon will show, and you already see that this is enabled because it is now in relative coordinate system. If I want to disable it, all I have to do is to click here. Now I am in absolute coordinate system. So let's do an example. So if I draw a line, I draw from here this point, let's say 2, 2. It is 2 inch from this center, this point, 2 inch and 2 inch. And then I'm going to draw another line 5 by 5. So this will be 5 inch from the x0, 5 inch from the y0. So that will be my line. Now I want to repeat this line. Let me delete this. And if I repeat this line, I turn this on. Now let's draw the line again. It is 2, 2. Now if I type 5, 5, the line is actually longer because it uses the previous points as my 0, 0. So if this previous point is 0, 0, this will be 5 inch and that will be 5 inch. So in order to do the same line that I had before, I cannot use 5 by 5. I can use 2, 2 in here. And now from this point, I only need 3 inch to the right and 3 inch up. So the next point is not 5 by 5, it's 3, 3. So you can see that. Now this line and the one before is done by 2 different coordinate systems. Now let's work on another line that is at an angle. So if I have a line that's at an angle, let's say if I turn this off, I'm going to use absolute coordinate system. If I draw a line, and say I draw a line from 2, 1, okay, this line. Now if I want to draw a line at an angle, and this line is 2 inch long, and I want to draw it at a 30 degree, so it looks something like this, 2 inch, it's smaller than the sign, it looks like an angle sign, and 30 degree. So there will be a 2 inch line at 30 degree. Now if I click enter, you will say, wow, it doesn't look like a 20 degree line for me, the 30 degree line for me, and it's not 2 inch long. What happened is that, let me finish this line. What happened is that this point is actually 2 inch from the center, from this 0, and then 30 degree up. So if I draw a line, 0, 0, 2 inch at an angle at 30, it will go to this point. So if you draw a line that is not coming from the center point, from the origin, that one is a line with an angle is very difficult to use. But if this is coming from the angle, from the origin, then yes, it is easy to use. However, if you want it, it doesn't happen all the time. So what you do is to use absolute coordinate system. So if I want to draw a line, I can click here, any point. If I want to draw a 2 inch line at 30 degree, now I can do it because it's treating this point as my 0, 0. 2 inch at 30. Let's say do again. Draw a line. I start from this point, 2 inch at 30 degree. You can see that this point, this line is 2 inch long, and it's 30 degree from this point. So that is the difference between absolute coordinate and relative coordinates. Now let's take a look, couple things in here. You can see these. When I enter the lines, you can see this sign at. This one doesn't have at. This one has. Now let's take a look at this again. So I am going to use absolute coordinates. I'm going to draw a line, let's say from here. And I want to have a 2 inch line at an angle just like that. So instead of activating in here, instead of doing this, all I have to do is type at. I can temporarily set my relative coordinate system, turn it on temporarily to 30. So this will tell the computer that it is based on relative coordinate system. If I do this, it is using the previous points as my 0, 0. So this add will do the same job as you turn on this icon. So normally I would do an absolute coordinate system and then use add to turn on the relative coordinate system as needed. Now let's do another example. If I draw a line, let's say repeat the same thing in here, this line. If I draw a line, that's 2, 2. And now I'm still at a absolute coordinate system because this is not on. So I do add 3, 3. That is temporary. I'm using relative coordinate system. And now it's 3 and 3. And that's how you use the absolute coordinate system and relative coordinate system. And make sure if you use both at the same time, you can either turn on and off this icon anytime you want, or use add to turn on and off the relative coordinate system.